And now it's time to talk about Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, pour one out for everyone's favorite blackface enthusiast, Justin Trudeau. After nearly a decade of controlling the Commonwealth nation of Canada, Justin Trudeau's regime has come to a tumultuous end.
Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister.
I love this story because Justin Trudeau did the classic, I guess if nobody wants me, I'll die. And virtually everyone is like, no, that's awesome. He hit the, oh, I'll just kill myself, I guess. Nobody really likes me at all. And everyone was like, yeah, we don't like you, dog. It's awesome. Please do that. Oh, man. Seems to me like nobody gives me the credit I deserve. I mean, it's just it's so bad. But also, once again, another case of liberals, and their incompetency paving the way for a ridiculous conservative administration to man the ship. That's why I always laugh at people being like, yo, you guys are accelerationists. It's like, no, dude. No, the acceleration is coming from inside the house. It is the liberals that consistently claim that there is nothing more that they can do that lead the way for absolutely awful individuals. Pierre Poilievre is the greatest example of this. Now, because it's Canadian politics, like he still comes across as a relatively softer liberal, but we'll get into it. Poilievre, whatever. Poilievre? Poilievre? I don't know how you... Pee-pee. His name is Pee-pee.
We have seen Trump belittle Trudeau, right? I mean, he posted on Truth Social that he was the governor of the great state of Canada. They've had a tumultuous relationship over the years, and now you have Trudeau resigning as the leader of the Liberal Party in Canada.
Certainly an extraordinary move, and one that was likely not on the mindset of the Prime Minister as he traveled down just in the weeks after the election. As you were saying, Pamela, that was a chance for Justin Trudeau to perhaps look for a lifeline from...
I wasn't implying that Pierre Poilievre is a Quebecois. I was just saying that I'm going to piss off the Quebecois by making fun of francophones, like French speakers. No, he's something so much worse. As far as I understand, he's something so much worse. While he is of French origin, he's from objectively the worst part of Canada, the most American part of Canada. A lot of people in the chat are already saying it. Alberta. Donald Trump didn't even need to take over Canada. Donald Trump didn't even need to do any sort of like military action because the most susceptible to like being annexed by America, the people that want America to annex the country are now going to be running the country.
I told the kids last night at dinner, he said. Today, he told the rest of Canada.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister.
9 years ago, a political lifetime away. 43, fresh-faced. A new Liberal darling sweeps a new Liberal Party to power in Canada.
I, Justin P.J. Trudeau, do swear that I will be faithful...
On a popular wave of taxing the wealthy, pro-immigration and fighting the climate crisis.
So help me God.
Yeah! Hold the line, troops! Hold the line!
Fast forward, fast downward. The Freedom Convoy of truckers.
Yeah, he really did that, huh? Doesn't that strike you? Interesting. So you mean to tell me that he went on a left-wing, somewhat left-wing populist campaign only to throw it away in its entirety once assuming office? That's weird. That never happens. That's such a strange thing. And it's crazy because his Liberal Party is saying that he went too far left.
Trump then heaped on more humiliation, suggesting, not totally unseriously, Canada should be abolished into the 51st state of the US.
Let it become a state.
It wasn't clear whether Trudeau would be retained as 51st state governor.
Well, you don't have to worry about that no more.
So resignation in a blizzard of political change today. And in an irony of nature, the day when Canadian winter temperatures descended on so much of the US, where the incoming president has played a key part in ending the Trudeau years in power.
Well, I know under my watch for Ontario, it'd never be for that at all. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest province anywhere. any sub-sovereign nation is Ontario and the rest of the provinces as well. You think he's joking? We would, you know something, to the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So, you know, it's not realistic. I know he likes making these comments and he likes joking around. I take that seriously. He may be joking, but under my watch, that will never, ever happen.
Premier, how do you think today's news?
This morning, we want to bring you the reaction from the opposition leader, the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre.
What are you going to do about it, bitch? No, but like, actually, what are you going to do? Like, why is annexing Canada wrong? Come on, guys. Okay, I've joked too much about this. I feel like now it's becoming a serious situation and I can't joke about it anymore. Oh my God, I should have never joked about it to begin with. What is wrong about violating the sovereignty of our neighboring nation, one of America's closest allies? I don't know, man. Pretty much every part of that is wrong. It's immoral, it's illegal, it's completely unacceptable, and America has done it time and time again. So who knows? Is this Donald Trump's like Hitler overtakes Austria moment? Is that what it is? Is that the historical parallel here? A nation state with enough of a captive population that is on board with such an action? Some serious similarities I foresee.
Yeah, right now, we mentioned a few moments ago that he did tweet, and in his words, there is no change. That is from his...
No, Canada would be the Austria. Mexico would be the Poland. Then again, there is no Poland. What are you talking about? Who is the USSR in this regard? China? Who are we fighting against? Like, who's on the opposing side here? There's no real socialist counterbalance to all this fascism. We're cooked.
Canadians desperate to turn the page on this dark chapter in our history might be relieved today that Justin Trudeau is finally leaving. But what has really changed? Every Liberal MP in power today and every potential Liberal leadership contender fighting for the top job helped Justin Trudeau break the country over the last 9 years. All Liberal politicians actively worked to pass into law the job-killing inflationary carbon tax, a tax that Carbon Tax Carney endorsed in his book. All supported a law quadrupling the tax over the next 5 years. All voted for or actively supported Trudeau's out-of-control spending, debt, and immigration. All passed Trudeau's housing policies that doubled the cost of homes. All Liberal politicians helped pass catch-and-release bail and house arrest for the most rampant reoffenders, policies that increased violent crime 50%, gun crime 116%, and hate crime by 250%.
New Alberta Premier Daniel Smith announces the province has signed a letter of intent and Enbridge to expand pipeline capacity in an effort to double Alberta's oil and gas production. Last time the UCP partnered with a pipeline company, the province lost $1.3 billion. They're doing it again. This is, I think, part of the reason why there's no reason to invade Canada. You only invade countries that don't want to sell away their natural resources to private corporations. Why invade the country when they're playing ball with capital owners anyway? Like, that's part of the reason why I think it's kind of silly. The only reason why you would invade Canada or annex Canada is to take away what remains of their social safety nets, I guess, which you know, is in the realm of some healthcare. But once again, I mean, the very same dude that we just listened to, crack smoker's own brother, has, from what I understand of Canadian politics, played a pretty significant role in undermining socialized medicine in his own province anyway. So they're doing it to themselves. It's not like you need foreign intervention of any sort, you know? It is also kind of funny that this guy has the charisma of a wet noodle. Pee-pee, I mean. I would never disrespect the Fords. The Fords do have a lot of charisma. They might not, or did. One of them died. But when they were both alive, they both were maybe a little too charismatic.
Criminals banning drugs, treating addiction, and stopping gun smugglers. We'll cap spending, axe taxes, reward work, build homes, uphold family, stop crime, secure borders, rearm our forces, restore our freedom, and put Canada first. All with one mission: to bring home Canada's promise that every hardworking Canadian gets a powerful paycheck and pension that buys affordable food and homes on safe streets where all are united for the country we know and love. Canada first, Canada last, Canada always. Let's bring it home.
Canada always. Oh, he said always? I thought he said Canada Like, I thought he was doing the AFD call sign for some reason. Let's do, I will dive into the Jordan Peterson PP interview as well after this jug meat statement, because it is very informative. It is very instructive in understanding Mr. PP. The entire interview sounds like the dude who is supposed to be the opposition leader is indiscernible or indistinguishable from a YouTube wokeness ruined video games commentary guy. They even talk about protecting the First Amendment, which is not like, what do you mean? Canada doesn't have the same lack of free speech limitations. It is so insane. I think they sometimes forget what country that they're running for office in. I half expected him to talk about free speech in Canada in that previous video. Pierre Poilievre says Canadians are too obsessed with race because of wokeism and agrees with Jordan Peterson that Canada essentially had to invent and import racism because it didn't exist here before recent decades. Amazing.
Justin Trudeau's Liberals have let down Canadians. They have let you down when it comes to the cost of homes. He's let you down when it comes to the cost of living. And frankly, it's not just Justin Trudeau. It's every Liberal minister, every Liberal MP who looked down their nose at you when people were saying we can't make ends meet. We are struggling with the cost of living. So it doesn't matter who the next Liberal leader is. They've let you down. They do not deserve another chance. They're more interested in themselves than the struggles of Canadians. We've got serious threats of Donald Trump and tariffs that put in question hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs. And instead of focusing on you and protecting your jobs, they're worried about themselves. And we have another serious threat to the middle class in Canada, and that is Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives.
This is Jagmeet Singh, friend of the show, leader of the NDP. They are the quote-unquote Social Democratic Party that is a part of the governing coalition alongside the Liberals. Unfortunately, however, the amount of concessions that they have given rather than extract from the Liberals in an effort to be a part of the governing coalition has created a lot of mass unpopularity for the NDP as well. And therefore, I don't know what it will look like for them in this upcoming election. It seems like a competent Social Democratic Party would be able to take advantage of these circumstances in front of them, with the Liberals falling apart, with the rest of the nation not exactly being excited at the prospect of culture warrior adjacent American style right-wing commentary coming from the Conservatives. But unfortunately, they are not. Obviously, I much prefer them over anybody else, but I'm just giving it to you how it is. Like, normally the way these things work, you're supposed to have a left-wing movement rise to the occasion to show that, like, no, we've played ball for the longest time. Now it's time for you to give us your vote and back us, because the alternative is far too terrifying. But I don't know.
Want to cut from the middle class to give to the rich CEO friends. They want to cut your pensions. They want to cut healthcare. They want to cut dental care, all to make the rich CEO buddies even richer. Under Pierre Poilievre of the Conservatives, they want to see CEOs get richer and richer and the middle class fall further behind. That's a serious fight in front of us. And I know what that fight's all about. I remember meeting seniors in our country who told me that they are living in pain because they can't fix their teeth. They can't get their teeth looked after. And to hear heartbreaking stories from these seniors. I remember one in particular who told me she's got to choose between eating and sleeping, because if she eats at night, she's in so much pain she can't fall asleep. And if she wants to sleep that night, she has to skip a meal, not eat dinner, go to bed hungry. I promised those seniors that I would fight like hell to make sure they could actually get their teeth looked after. And the Liberals said no at every turn. We proposed solutions. We proposed ideas to get this done. They said no. Even when we convinced them to move forward with dental care, they said it would take a decade to put in place. We said, no, seniors need this now. We fought hard and we delivered it. So if Canadians give us a chance, give us the honor of leading this country, we're going to do exactly that. Fight for you. Fight greedy CEOs who are ripping you off when you buy your groceries. Fight to make sure you can actually afford a home. So if you are worried about the cuts of Pierre Poilievre.
Can't even begin to wrap my head around how my fellow countrymen find Pierre Poilievre charismatic. In the US, he would just be a nerdy policy wonk. Yeah, because it's Canada. He is, the closest he is to being American, the cooler he is seen, the more charisma he has. And I feel like, at least in my time tracking Canadian politics, I feel like the conservative leadership is always just like an American guy or close to being an American Democrat. That's the guy. Like a conservative American Democratic Party guy will be the leader of the Conservative Party. I ran for the NDP in 2021, and when campaigning, I realized just how racist Canadians are. Many would have voted for the NDP, but were not willing to vote for a Sikh man as prime minister. Yeah, I think that, I'm sure that's also like, I'm sure there's also a part of the problem too. But I still think that like Jagmeet would be charismatic. He's latched on to the dental stuff, understandably so. The expansion of healthcare coverage to dental work is a solid idea. I think the number one problem in every Western liberal democracy right now is housing, though. That's it. I will always be on board with people that want to expand the existing social safety nets. But I think you are not winning anything unless you talk about housing. Canada is also a unique country because like they're even more pro-immigrant than America is. If America has had a sequence of different anti-immigrant sentiments expressed depending on the time frame, depending on who was coming in, Canada, I feel like, is a country that has had the opposite, where they're like, no, we love the migrants. This is like, that's the country. Except until now, until recently, it feels like Canada just turned around and are now on their fuck immigrants arc. Back in the day, it was like, yeah, okay, if you're First Nation, like you suck, whatever. That's like classic, similar to America. But at least they were seemingly more pro-immigrant. Now you got first-generation immigrants shitting on incoming immigrants. And I think that is born out of the housing crisis. And that is also born out of the privatization initiatives implemented in different provinces, where you feel like your social safety nets and your lived experiences are worsening year in and year out. And then you're like, well, who's to blame for this? Oh, it must be the migrants. And it's like, dog, you're a migrant. You're a Canadian. What the fuck are you talking about? It must be the migrants. It's extra stupid for Canadians to be like, yeah, it must be the migrants. It's like, who isn't?